What up? It's the real Keys, any other a fabrication of your imagination. And Universal Debates presents Real Random Versus Discussions. Here we discuss versus battles that you wouldn't normally think of instead of the same old recycled fights that you see every day. And today we have the Demon of Empire City and the hero of New Marais, Cole McGrath. From Infamous versus the King of Syndria, Dungeon Capturer, the hero Sinbad. From Magi, two powerhouses with multiple abilities who are both the gods of their verse. We will be using a composite Infamous 1 and 2 Cole with no DLC and Sinbad with all his djinns, but no god form. Let's analyze and see who wins. Cole was just a normal bike carrier who delivered packages until one day he was delivering a package that contained something called the Ray Spear. The Ray Spear unexpectedly exploded, causing major damage and destroying a small island outside of New Empire City. But this caused Cole to develop new powers, electric powers to be exact, becoming what you call a conduit, and this also created more conduits, and Cole became either the hero the city needed or the monster that would destroy it. Cole went from New Empire City to New Marais City after having a fight with a creature called the Beast who destroyed New Empire City. And in New Marais, Cole unlocked new abilities and defeated the Beast, the Child of Destiny, beloved by the Rook, and a first-class singularity. King of Syndria, head of International Alliance, and the president of Syndria Trading Company. Sinbad was the first capturer of the dungeons, having captured 7 dungeons and a king vessel. He's also the leader of the 7 Seas Alliance. Sinbad is also the reincarnation of David. Basically, he's just everything you hear in a child's wet dream hero story. Sinbad was so good at capturing dungeons that he was banned from going to any more dungeons. And each dungeon he gained new abilities and new powers from what you would call a djinn, and acquired more djinns than anyone. Cole's main ability is lightning manipulation. Cole can discharge simple lightning bolts from his hands. Lightning bolts passively regenerate his electrical reserves with every hit on his opponent and causes Cole to regen vitality with each headshot. Lightning arc releases deadly arcs of lightning that combust through titanium reinforced armor and burn through insulated suits. It also allows Cole to grab onto physical objects and manipulate them freely. Arc restraint physically restrain his opponents with electrical shackles around their arms and legs. Bio Leech can absorb electrical energy from his opponents through physical contact, heals him physically, and causes his opponent to die. Electric Drain does exactly what it sounds like, drain electricity from nearby sources. Induction Grind allows Cole to grind on electric field objects, increasing his mobility, speed, and passively regenerates his electrical supplies. With Lightning Storm, the name kind of implies it all. Cole creates a large lightning storm that shoots lightning from the sky. Cole can also use his electricity to glide across the air. This is called static thrusters. Megawatt Hammer is extremely condensed orbs of electricity from his hands. It also has the effect of making his enemies float in the air if they're hit by the rocket itself or its AoE. Plus, Cole can also give them the ability to greatly increase their speed and the ability to home onto its opponents through marking them with a lightning bolt. Polarity Wall can stop physical radiation and energy-based attack. It also has the effect of turning anything that interacts with it into electricity, which Cole can absorb. Precision allows Cole to slow down his perception of time greatly while manipulating his overall ability of sight, allowing him to zoom in further than he normally can. Healing Touch concentrates electricity around his hands and uses them like a defibrillator. Shock Grenade is a hand-sized ball of condensed electricity, which has the effect of sticking onto his opponent but not onto the environment itself. Also create arc restraints on downed opponents. Shockwaves is kinetic energy from his hands. This can redirect physical objects, attack, forcefully lift and throw away physical objects like cars and humans, or make enemies float in the air in a reverse magnetic field. Thunder Drop is the airborne attack that slams enemies from the sky. Cole jumps from any amount of distance, then charges up, hitting the ground, sending enemies flying. Overload Burst is just Cole Cold, condensing his lightning and shooting it out for a devastating attack. Cold also has different variations of attacks that function differently. Magnum Bolt does more damage than his regular attack. Artillery Bolt can increase his range and does slightly more damage than his regular attack, but has a slower firing rate. Pincer Bolt is 3 lightning bolts with homing, has a stronger variation of his shockwave. It changes the polarity for people and objects, can pull people in with his lightning hook. Detonation Blast creates a cage of swirling condensed kinetic energy that sticks to any physical object. This can be exploded through either waiting a couple of seconds or instantly if Cold shoots the cage with any of his bolts. It also allows him to jump further through Cold jumping on the cage and detonating it. Sticky Grenade possesses the ability to stick onto physical beings, does not stick onto objects. Alpha Rocket is a ball of highly condensed kinetic energy that's held together by electromagnetism. This possesses multiple different forms and functions. Lightning Tether allows Cold to stick his lightning onto multiple surfaces, increases mobility by dragging himself closer like Spider-Man. Kinetic Pulse can lift objects with this power and turn them into an explosive projectile. From pizza boxes to cars, the object capture will always release an electric explosion after being thrown by a shockwave. Works on organic beings. Ionic Vortex summons a small tornado that picks up everything in its path. Electrocutes anything caught. Cold has direct control over it. Scythe Bolts is 5 overcharged alpha bolts that are tied together through electromagnetism, doing massively increased damage compared to Cold's regular bolts, but also infusing the target with tons of electricity. Cold also has ice manipulation. He has his ice shield, which is pretty much his polarity wall, but with ice. He can also launch it using it as a projectile. Ice Launch, which propels him high into the air by creating a stalagmite at his feet, which he then jumps off of, allowing him to achieve greater height and distance. Could be used in mid-air to drop ice blocks on enemies. Ice Grenade, which is a condensed ball of ice which instantly freezes anyone and anything solid if directly hit by the rocket or by its area of effect. It also generates large shards of ice. Freeze Rockets, which instantly flash freezes anyone and anything solid if directly hit by the rocket or in the area. Ionic Freeze, which generates large icicles from the ground, which frees anything and anyone who is touched or damaged by it. He also has napalm manipulation, where he can produce oil, fire, and smoke, allowing him to release extremely destructive blasts of fire, create hardened constructs purely made of oil, or let out blasts of smoke and ash, blinding and suffocating people. He has Nightmare Blast, which is a release of smoke and ash that paralyzes, stuns, and suffocates his victims. Can also release a continuous smoke screen around himself to physically blind, confuse, and suffocate his opponents if they get too close to him. He has Napalm Grenades, which pretty much work like a regular grenade, except it releases ash. Hellfire Rocket, which is a ball of highly condensed kinetic energy. It's pretty much like his other rockets except with napalm. Spikers are creatures that Cold can summon and fight alongside him. He also can teleport short distances by turning himself into a cloud of ash and smoke, allowing him to travel great distances through flight, giving him the ability to phase through most physical attacks. Firebird Strike, where Cold launches himself at an enemy while engulfed in flames, hitting his target. He releases a flaming shockwave. And his most powerful attack, Ionic Drain. He charges to expand his bio-leech ability, draining energy from his surroundings, including energy sources, and the process of draining Cold is untouchable. Cold also has Psychic Vision, where he can absorb the electric energy from recently deceased person's corpse to view their last memories by creating the outline of deceased or the killer's recent path. And he also has the Gigawatt Blades, which is condensed electricity around his hands and forearms, creating electrical blades. After absorbing the beast, he even got more abilities like Gravity Lift, where he can pull you in towards him, Regeneration, where he can reform himself from any type of physical damage, even if it was reduced to atoms. While he's in the process of reforming himself from such damage, he automatically transforms into a black hole that absorbs everything around, deconstructs the matter, and transmutes it into different matter that's used by Cold to heal his damaged body. He also has fireballs, shape-shifting, and teleportation. And he has the Ray Spear, which is his most potent ability. After absorbing the beast's power, Cold can gain the ability to project massive blasts of Ray Spear energy, being able to fill hundreds of miles almost instantly with Ray Spear energy. This energy has a plethora of inherent effects that are all quite powerful, such as deconstructing anyone who isn't a conduit on an atomic level, forcefully removing their neuroelectricity and filling them up with massive amounts of radiation. If they somehow survive, both previous mysterious effect, which introduces the Rayfield plague to them, causing them to become instantly ill, physically weakening, to the point they're permanently bedridden and filled with constant pain, and are eventually turned into mindless zombies that will attack anything and everything. Damn, Cole had a lot of abilities. Now we're on to Sinbad. Sinbad also has a lot of abilities. He has Baal, which is a lightning djinn that he obtained from his first dungeon. Baal is the djinn of wrath and heroes. I know I'm gonna butcher these names, but Baraka is Sinbad summons lightning from his sword to strike his opponent. This attack can be used in full Djinn equip or simply in weapon equip. Then he has Barak Psycha, which is Sinbad draws lightning from the sky to his sword, where it is stored and eventually used to blast the enemy with lightning, powerful enough to lighten up the sky. And then he has Barak Karak Psycha, which is extreme magic. An enormous blade of concentrated lightning in the form of Sinbad's weapon is released from above to impale anything below. Extreme magic is the most powerful attack that any metal vessel user has. His next djinn is Folklore, the wind djinn. He is the djinn of rule and submission. He can control wind in the form of tornadoes from the palms of his hands. He has Varaz Zora. Sinbad uses this attack to summon 2 wind tornadoes around his hand, then combines them over his head, throwing down an enormous tornado. He is also able to manipulate wind. He has Zepar, which is the sound djinn. With this djinn, he can perform incredibly loud screams, able to command others into doing something. It affects everyone in the vicinity. Not only can he do that, but he can also control other people's mind by using a special type of sound wave. He has Val for the djinn of ice. This gives him an ability called stagnation. This ability stops molecules and restricts substances movement. This includes the ability to generate ice. By using it on an opponent, Sinbad can separate a person's sensation from the surroundings and slow down their movements as much as possible. Because of this, even the opponent's thoughts are slowed down. Garufra Zyru. Sinbad throws multiple ice picks toward the opponent by transforming water into the ice. Garufra Garistel freezes the target in ice. And he also has 3 more djinns that we did not get to see. He's also loved by the Rook, so fate is always on his side. Attack potency for Cole. Cole fought and became the beast who was able to destroy New Empire City. This city was based off of New York, so we're gonna do calculation of the energy needed to destroy New York City. This would take 1.8 gigatons or large mountain if he pulverized it, or 5.1 gigatons if he vaporized it, or island level. Cole also saw a vision of the beast destroying the moon. This is calculated to be 29.5 exatons or multi-continental. For Sinbad, his lightning destroyed 5 mountains and put a hole through 1. This was calculated to be 290 megatons or mountain level plus. He also did this big attack which dispersed the cloud, which was calculated to be 25 kilotons, which is town level, or 1 megaton of TNT, which is city level. He also created his country Syndria, destroying an island, and this was calculated to be 675 megatons or mountain level. We can actually get him to scale higher because his fight against Queen of Altamira, he believed that she would destroy her country with her power, and he was above her. For speed, Cole is easily massively hypersonic plus for being able to fight and defeat Kessler. Kessler is literally Cole, but from the future on some Terminator, Looper type shit. So he has the same lightning powers with more experience. Cole was also able to dodge and react to radiation, which would make him relativistic to faster than light. The same could be said for Sinbad, who is able to dodge lightning point blank range. And it's also people who are a lot slower than Sinbad who is able to dodge light speed attacks. So Sinbad will also be massively hypersonic to faster than light speed for being faster than them. For durability, Cole survived the Ray Spirit explosion point blank, being ground zero before he had any powers. This was calculated to be 50 to 75 tons of TNT or city block. He was able to tank multiple attacks from Kessler, being his lightning or his telekinesis. He also tanked attacks from multiple conduit creatures of different varying sizes, with some of these creatures being the size of buildings and some even the size of city blocks, causing earthquakes just from merely walking. talking. And like I said before, he was able to fight and tank attacks from the beast, but the beast wasn't using his full power. It also wouldn't matter because Cole absorbed and became the beast. For Sinbad, his durability is unknown because he really didn't get hit throughout the whole series, and most people don't actually get hit in magi, so at most we'll just say his attack potency scales to his durability. The equipment is probably the simplest part. Cole has the Imp, which is a powerful melee weapon built and designed by his best friend Zeke. It is made to channel Cole's electrical energy to increase the power of his melee attacks. Sinbad has his Djinn Equips, with Djinn residing in different objects. A sword, silver bracelet on his right arm, ring on his middle finger, and a necklace. There's also more Djinns that we didn't see. Time for the comparison section. For power and abilities, it's really a fight between quantity versus quality. Cole seems to have a few more abilities than Sinbad, with more versatility with his electrical powers, while Sinbad has more versatility in general. So I would have to give powers and abilities to Sinbad. For attack potency, if we use their higher interpretations, Cole will be multi-continental, from the beast fragmenting the moon, while Sinbad is country. But the beast shattering the moon was in a vision that didn't come to fruition. So in my opinion, the island level feat should be taken into account more. But for the country level feat for Sinbad, we don't know how big the country actually was, but we can use the baseline for small country, which is 1 teraton, and baseline for country is 7 teratons. So his feat for vaporizing the mountains should take precedence. But this also was a younger Sinbad and he got stronger, but we don't know how much strong. For lower interpretations, Cole has it at 1.8 gigatons. Mid-end Sinbad at 1 teraton, and high-end Cole at 29.5 exatons. So I have to give attack potency to Cole. For speed, they're pretty much equal. So this is a pretty fast section, no pun intended. For durability, we literally don't know what Sinbad durability is and only have a durability count for Cole pre-Powers Awaken. But we'll just say they're equal in this section too. And from the bounty system that I created, Cole would have a low-end bounty of 251,384,000, mid-end bounty of 276,384,000, and a high end of 20,616,884,000, a grade of S+ and a threat level of cataclysmic danger. Sinbad has a low end bounty of 136,384,000, mid-end of 236,384,000, and a high end bounty of 841,384,000, with a grade S+ and threat level of cataclysmic danger. For the fight, I have a list of random locations and I have them based on size depending on the tier of characters, and use a random number generator to pick where the fight will take place. The fight will take place in the Valley of the End from Naruto. Cole and Sinbad are two heavy hitters with more in common than it would seem at first glance. They both have ice, wind, and electric powers. Their speed is roughly equal, and their attack potency isn't too far from each other. It would come down to their hex and who can counter who. Stagnation would be a very hard ability to counter for anyone, but Cole has shown the ability to be able to slow his own perception. Cole napalm manipulation would actually come in handy here because he becomes intangible and can use smoke to impair Sinbad's vision. And any lightning that Sinbad uses against Cole would just empower him. But Sinbad can use his wind or ice to counter this. I think it will all boil down to Sinbad using Zepar mind manipulation to beat Cole, or for Cole to get in range and use Bioleap. On top of these, location plays a big part. Cole has no way to refill his electric reserves since there's no one around or any electricity. Sinbad can also fly, which will make it harder for Cole to get up close. He can use his ice lunch, flame bird strike, and static thrusters to temporarily fly, but can't use powers without free falling. And that's the icing on the cake because Sinbad can get out of range of Bioleech and still use his sound manipulation to win. But Sinbad usually doesn't want to use this. And based on which interpretation we go with, Cole can one-shot based on a high end, but I would prefer the mid end since it's relatively closer. Cole can also regen from molecular destruction, so Sinbad will also have a very hard time killing him. He has no showings on that level. He has some jinns that we have not seen yet, and it could possibly help, but since we don't know what they are, we can't say that he can. So based on in-character performances, I would have to give this to Cole, but extremely high def. But give me your thoughts and opinions. Like, share, and subscribe for more real random versus discussions, and follow Universal Debates on Facebook.